Nathan, give me one of those cases that to this day is still in your mind as to some of the, actions that may have been taken on behalf of the government or that you thought was just mind-boggling to you.
So I represented a guy who was the number two most wanted heroin dealer in Africa. He was Tanzanian, and the government had investigated him for a year or so. In fact, the Australian Navy intercepted a shipment coming out of Baluchistan, which is a little area between Afghanistan, Pakistan, and Iran,
Okay.
that had 1,034 kilos on it, right, of heroin, which is a lot of heroin. And the Australian Navy intercepted the boat, and they found the heroin. And instead of seizing it all, they took 10 kilos as a sample, and then they cut the rest of it open. They used a forklift to dump it over the side of the boat into the water. And when I asked the agents, I said, how can you do that? And they said, well, we can't take it into port in Dar es Salaam. We can't take that into port in Tanzania. The pirates from Somalia will come down and fight us to get that $65 million worth of heroin.
Wow.
And when they arrested him, they lured him to the Seychelles, which are off of Madagascar, tropical islands. And he went out there and he thought he was just going there to meet the buyer. And when he got there, they refused to let him enter. They denied him entry into the country with his passport. And instead, they said, oh, you can't come in, but these guys want to talk to you. And he turned to the side, and Homeland Security was there to put a bag over his head, put him on a G6, flew him to Lagos, then flew him to the Portuguese islands, and then flew him to Puerto Rico and into the United States.
My God. And this is all without informing him of what's going on.
Yeah. He arrived in Houston with no idea why he was in Houston, why he was being prosecuted by the United States government. You know, he had never been here in his life. He had no idea what was going on. And it was an interesting experience that revealed what happens when the government identifies someone as a terrorist organization. So they had identified the heroin trafficking route as being related to terrorists in Afghanistan, Iran, Pakistan, Baluchistan. And that's how they were able to get that kind of authority to
Engaged in those acts.
Yeah.
Wow.